All right. Okay. So this is going to be a really quick walkthrough of the LubeLogger MCP server, which allows your AI agents to communicate directly to LubeLogger. So here's how to get started. First, you're going to need an instance of LubeLogger that is up and running. So I have mine over here at 192.168.1.187.80.80. And then you're going to download this Docker Compose file that is in the GitHub repository for the MCP server, which is at github.com/hargata/looplog_MCP. Um, I already have it downloaded. This is what the Docker Compose file looks like. Well, GitHub is down, but I can just show you what the Docker Compose file looks like. You will fill in the environment variables like where the instance is, a username, and a password to authenticate for that instance. And once that is done, you can come back here and you can open up a PowerShell window, and then you can do Docker Compose pull, and that will download the image. I already have it pulled previously, so nothing is going to be pulled here. And then you can run Docker Compose up-d, and that will start the container. So once you got the container started in your Docker desktop, you will go to the link where it's running, and it will very quickly tell you whether it's configured or not. And if it's connected, it's true, that means it's able to communicate with the LubeLogger instance. So what you're going to do now is you are going to let's refresh that real quick. Okay, GitHub is back and working. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go and look for a sample MCP configuration. So here's one for cloud. And what you're going to do is you're going to go into cloud, just minimize all of these windows. Okay, so you can open up cloud, and you're going to go into file settings, and it will take you to this window. Go to developer, click edit config, and it will open up a new Windows Explorer window. You'll double click on that, and you're going to go back to here, and you're going to copy this section of the MCP servers. You will have to format it so that it looks right, and I'm just going to paste this in here. And this config always assumes that you don't modify the port from the Docker Compose, which is 40150. But if you do, you will have to update it in here as well. And once that is done, you will restart cloud. So you'll right click here, click quit, and then you'll reopen cloud. And now cloud, if you go into file settings, and go developer, you can see that the LubeLogger MCP server is running and that cloud can communicate with it. So here are some sample commands. So for example, what is the status of LubeLogger? For LubeLogger, if you type this in, cloud will do its thing, and then it's going to call the MCP tool, and it will give you a breakdown of the current status of the MCP server and whether it's configured or not, and what version of the LubeLogger instance it's pointed at is running. So we'll let cloud do its thing. It's a bit slow because I'm on the free tier, so just wait for that. Yep, so it says that everything is configured, so that's good. So another sample command that you can do is show me vehicles in my garage, and it will show you vehicles that are in your garage. So for example, I have one vehicle configured in here, and we'll wait for cloud to do its thing. And what I'm actually going to do from here is I'm actually going to add a second vehicle for testing purposes, and it will be very apparent later why. So I'm going to create a curbs one. Okay, so I'm going to create a second vehicle called Nissan Altima, and I'm going to show you guys why this MCP server exists. So in my folder here, I have a few test data. I have a few fuel receipts, some sample fuel receipts that I found on the internet like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to upload this to Cloud, and I'm going to have Cloud parse the data that's on that receipt and add a fuel record to my new vehicle. So add a fuel record with details from this receipt for my Nissan Altima at say 2,500 miles. So I hit enter, and Cloud's gonna think, let's check on why this vehicle doesn't exist. Let's see, can you check vehicles in my garage again? Again, and this time, Cloud should be able to see the Nissan Altima in there. And as you can see here, it's got the details for the field record from a previous chat, and it will add the field record onto my Nissan Altima here. So if I go into here and click on fuel, you can see that it has details from the receipt, and the receipt here, and it should match up. So it will be on May 23rd, and it's May 23rd, 2021 at 2,500 miles, 23.1 gallons, and $69.07. So there it is. And you can also, alternatively, I also have some dashboard data in here. So let's see, let's look for a good one. Okay, let's do the Subaru Crosstrek because this one's here, 16,459 miles. And I can say add odometer record to my Nissan Altima today with this picture from today. Okay, so I'm upload file and then select my Crosstrek dashboard and then upload that. And now, so it will parse the image, see that um, the reading is 16,459 miles, and it will add a odometer record to my Nissan Altima right here. So now if I go to my odometer tab, you can see 16,459 miles today, 13,000 miles of distance. Okay, all right, and here's another feature that we have as well. So I have a sample mechanic invoice here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Cloud to create a separate service record for every item in this invoice. A separate service record for my Nissan Altima at 17,000 miles um, for each item's service in this invoice. Okay, and so it's going to create a service record for each item in this invoice. As you can see, it's very slowly working through it. In this invoice, I have engine oil and engine oil change, new tires for the front, brake pad replacements for the rear, and 4 new spark plugs. And these are the costs. And as you can see here, it has created a separate service record for every single one of these items here with the date and the odometer that I told it to um, input and the description along with the cost. So um, yeah, this is pretty much the a very thorough walkthrough of the LubeLogger MCP server. Thank you for watching.